Timing is huge. Again, there was talk that he was going to go in the next 18 months, so that was certainly on the cards. So it shouldn't be an over surprise. Before him was Grant O'Brien was the head, and before him was Michael Luscombe, who unfortunately passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. So he's been a pretty big stalwart there, and he not only that, before he was CEO, he was well and truly in what we call C-suite, so corporate management for Woolworths. So it was known. But timing's very interesting. I mean, clearly the Four Corners event on the weekend will be one of them, along with, again, is he ready to go through what will be quite a grilling by Nick McKibb with regards to the whole sort of supermarket scenario. So that is interesting. Again, no, it is September, so he is going to go through it. He is going to sit down. He and the candidate, was it Bridget, did you say? Bridget?
Amanda Bardwell.
Okay, so she's their group head of division. Absolute perfect candidate. So it's pretty seamless transfer with regards.
And like with most big companies, and as we're seeing with Virgin, there is a transition.
Yeah, and it's very typical Woolworths. Yeah. Very, very stereotypical Woolworths in that candidates always tend to come from inside.
Come within.
So the last 30 years, all of the CEOs have come from within, and they are a big family. That's how they love to operate.
Yeah, and we can't say the two events are directly linked.
No,
but you mentioned the Four Corners report on Monday night. Let's just remind our viewers about Brad Banducci's appearance on Four Corners on Monday night.
Rod Sims, the former head of the ACCC, says that we have one of the most concentrated supermarkets in the world. Is he lying?
It's not true, and it is not true. This community over here, there will be 3 Coles stores within 2 kilometres of it, at least 1 Aldi store, a series of independents, ability to, within 24 hours, have a quarter of our store delivered to you by Amazon. It is an incredibly competitive market. The risk people have is
the former head of the Competition Commission says, his words are that
retired, by the way.
I don't think you would impugn his integrity and his understanding of competition law.
I'm just saying the world has got much more competitive.
He retired 18 months ago. He's not...
Okay, can we take that out? Is that okay? He is retired, but I shouldn't have said that, Angus. Are we going to leave it in there if we are?
Well, I mean, if we're on the record. You said it. I mean, let's move on. But
I think I'm done, guys. I do this with good intent. I don't do this with bad intent.
You're walking out, really?
No. Can we just talk through Brad for a second?
Let me just
have a minute.
Let's keep going.
Angus Grigg and Brad Banducci on Four Corners on Monday night. Now, we stress we cannot draw a link between what we saw there and the announcement that Brad Banducci is now leaving the company. But perfectly valid questions there by Angus. The optics for Brad Banducci were far from good there.
No, they weren't. And so the discussion also became, as I said before, was if he gets questioned by a reporter way, senators are more unruly than reporters. And
he can't walk out of the Senate estimates or the Senate inquiry.
So, look, it's not great. I will slightly, go back on Brad Banducci and the fact that he has been a very, very strong leader for Woolworths. He's done a very, very good job. They were in a little bit of the doldrums when, he took over. So, Grant O'Brien unfortunately had to move out when, Woolworths were very much lagging Coles. So I need to sort of put his credit out there as well. Though the question is valid, right? And the question is that we know that, unfortunately, we are a population of 27 million. We are also the 6th largest country by land mass on the planet. So we have highly concentrated areas, high transportation, high logistics, and we forget supermarkets realistically are logistic providers rather than food providers to some extent.
And Brad Banducci at the helm during COVID as well, when that was extremely
So all of that can be put into it. So the one to highlight is Kaufland, and why I highlight Kaufland. Kaufland were and had their finger over the button. They're a competitor to Audi, another massive German provider. Audi's made it. Kaufland couldn't get the numbers up. And again, it's because it is highly competitive. It is a very, very hard market to get into, to start, because we are demographically not easy to start in. We have high concentrations, but massive distances. You then have to, don't forget, you've got to get into areas. And I know that the report highlights very clearly that Woolworths and Coles concentrate, their control of areas. And that's why low margins, high concentration of areas, high transport and logistics problems. It's a business that is very hard to get up.
Yeah, breaking news. So just confirming Brad Banducci leaving Woolies in September. Amanda Bardwell, who has been a Woolies executive for some time, takes over from him as both Managing Director and Group CEO.